What's up, my babies? I haven't been before you in a while. I've been taking a break. But welcome to the Collisions podcast. This is another bonus episode. I'm going to call it Collisions with Coping Mechanisms. I'm chuckling because, you know, when you're telling yourself nobody else has to tell on you. And now that I'm in this, I haven't arrived, but I'm in this healed state, I laugh at myself when I catch myself being me. So this episode, I'm going to talk about things that aren't fun to talk about. They're not comfortable to talk about, but who's going to check me? I'm on the heels of finishing the Soul Cafe Awards. I did that last night. I got a chance to be nominated and perform, and that was an honor. I did not win, but that's not what it was about. My community affirmed me, and so I was very, very grateful to be there. But you know what? That 6 a.m. shift, because I'm still working, it hurt this morning. It hurt real bad. My body was sore, and I just wanted to stay in the bed. But I said, you know what? No one's coming to rescue me. I'm going to go to work. So I did. Now that I'm off, I am hangry. And I was just laughing at myself because I was looking at the video from last night. I didn't like what I saw. One thing about me is that when I want to avoid confrontation, I will stick my head in the sand. But the reason I'm laughing is, let's just say my affirmation. Affirm with me. I no longer have to numb what I know how to heal. If I know how to fix something, no one else has to tell me how to do it, right? So why am I hangry? Because I didn't plan. And why do I not like what I see in those videos? It's because I've been avoiding the gym. I've been avoiding the hard work. And you know what? All that weight that I lost, I gained it back. Whose fault is that? Mine. Whose responsibility is it? Mine. Whose win or result is it to celebrate when I get back to it? Mine. I say this as I medicate with my Milky Way. So I was laughing because I don't know why I did this, but I turned on the camera before I was done chewing. And people are just like, wow, you look so good. It's confidence because I know who I am and I love myself. The quote of the day is, if you avoid the pain, you avoid the healing. That is not for the faint of heart. That is not for those who don't want to be mature. It's not fun. It's not sexy. It's not cool, but you got to do it. You can't say, I want healing, I want results in the gym, I want financial freedom, and you don't do what is necessary. I am preaching to myself. You don't do what's necessary to have that. Also, with trauma and complex PTSD, things that I deal with, because it's about Jesus and counseling, so I have done all of the above, and I'm seeking wise counsel from the Lord. I'm seeking wise counsel from my therapist, who is amazing. She helped me by referring some books, and the body keeps score. When we're hurting, or if we're happy, we have joy, that's stored in the body. And so just to be honest, I have been putting things off because finances have been tough, because there have been some things going on with Bethany, and that's I just repeated a habit. I will eat my emotions. Stress about the album, stress being worried, just being honest, being worried about how people are going to respond to it. And also, you can be tested. When you say you're free, the universe is going to conspire to make sure you're being honest. But in this moment, I'm almost brought to tears because I'm free enough to be real with myself. Can't nobody tell it how I tell it. And one thing I have always dealt with, and this is going to be uncomfortable to talk about, but I want somebody else to get free. I want someone else to have some information and some resources. I really struggle with overconsumption. And it's because of the scarcity that I've had in my life. I have scarcity trauma, is what it's called. My parents did their best, but there were some times where we were on the top of the mountain, and sometimes we were in the valley financially. There were times where, I was blowing a lot of money at school, just buying myself, buying my friends, in high school, buying my friends lunch and whatever, trying to seek approval, but that's a different podcast. Just eating whatever, and I had a car, and I was my mom was working, and she was just boss lady, and so that's what I saw, and I saw how to work hard, but I also saw how to overconsume. And what I realized is this goes back to my great grandparents, who didn't have much, and not only was I dealing with the current trauma of just us having us having times where we were broke as a family, but it was generational. Just like there's generational blessing, there can be generational cursing. My parents caught it and broke it, but habits are habits, and our flesh is our flesh, right? And so I'm dealing with great-grandparent, grandparent, and my mom, and then my own scarcity trauma. That's deep. And, there are some children, there's some PKs that they live from the altar and it's abundant. But from where I come from, my parents were in the mission field. My mom lived in 26 countries. She didn't go to public school until she was a teenager because they were on the roads preaching the gospel. And they were givers. And so my mom told me stories about going home in her slip at night because they would see all these impoverished people and they would take their own clothes and give them to the people because they were going places that didn't have electricity, didn't have food. There was food deserts then, and so how that's manifesting in my life is that money management has been an issue. Overconsumption has been an issue. And it isn't just eating, it's buying something for that fix, to feel like I have something and nobody can take it away from me. And I've had both. I've always had 2 and 3 jobs because if one job won't pay me, or if I stagger them, I'll always have money in my pocket. Everybody thought that I was balling out of control. There were times where I was like, don't even repeat underwear because I can afford not to, kind of thing. How does that manifest now? Well, when my life exploded and I had lost everything, I had to move a whole apartment, a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment that we had filled with things. I ain't even got to Bethany yet. We had filled, I had clothes, I had duplicates of everything, people coming to live with me, so I'd buy duplicates, whatever. And so I had a storage unit. I had my whole apartment filled to the brim. My car was filled to the brim. I got so many clothes, y'all. And my weight has fluctuated so much that my justification was, keep all the clothes because you don't know what size you're going to be next week and you need to look nice. And that was the other thing, was I'm laughing and chuckling at myself. I don't have nails on. Y'all know me. If you've been watching me for a while, I always got a French pedicure. I always got my nails done. I always have lashes. When I discovered lashes, because I have really thin lashes. And so also, the stress and the impact and the trauma of what happened at the end of the year last year, my hair stopped growing. Also, my nutrition wasn't great, so my hair wasn't growing because I'm eating my emotions, right? Going through this. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Let me just cook for my baby, and then I'm over-consuming. All of this boils down to I wasn't trusting Source. I wasn't trusting God, who will supply all of my needs according to his riches and glory. But also, we can have a belief system and we can trust God, but there are traumas that are factors, that are things, that filters that we use. And I'm just trying to say to you, I wasn't just, when you hear the words Henny Lemon Drops to numb the pain in the song called Heal on my album, you can do the clip, Henny Lemon Drops to numb, I was numbing the pain. I won't call it a relapse, but I had tripped into over-consuming alcohol, over-consuming food, over-consuming merchandise, and just being a consumer. That's not what I'm called to do. I'm called to be a prosumer. If I'm doing something, I'm experiencing something, it's not just for me. I understand my call. It's for me to experience so that I can share my experiences with other people and help them and guide them and give them jewels. And so when I'm dealing with heartbreak and trauma and complex PTSD, domestic violence, sexual trauma, all the things that I had bottled up inside and I wasn't dealing with, on top of losing my dream job and imposter syndrome and all of the things. I know now why I lost the weight and my hair started falling out because of stress. And so people are like, oh, you look so good. Yeah, I wasn't eating. Partially because I couldn't afford it. Partially because I was stressed out and had no appetite. And so then, it's a spiral. So now I am jolly because, God is good and He's provided for us. And I wear what's going on with me sometimes on my frame. And so I am motivated to get clear and grounded with myself. I'm just gonna do it again. I know it works. And that's why I'm like not mad at myself and beating myself up. I know how to get back to where I was. I know I gotta save up the money and stop eating it and going to Starbucks and we can DoorDash. DoorDash your whole retirement away, honey. I need to spend that money on Elijah Baker and Always Winning Fitness, because when I'm in there, he talks to me, and we don't talk just about fitness. We talk about spiritual things. We talk about mental strength, and that's what this is. This is the battlefield of the mind. I know how to heal this. I know how to fix it. God's empowered me to fix it. And so I just had to say that I'm going to go back to the closet with the podcast, but this is a bonus episode anyway. I know how to fix it. So if I stay like this, it's up to me. If I stay like this, it's my own fault. And, honestly, because of the ADHD that I deal with, structure and routines really work for me. It's just, I'm the type of person, like, if I need to get something done, I got to put my shoes on like I'm about to go somewhere, or not take them off when I get home until the things are done, or I will just relax and not do it. I'm the type of person that I've been fighting myself about going to the gym because the somatic parts of it, like, let me say this. When I work out, we carry things in our body, right? So when I work out, the emotions that I'm holding on to come out, and I get embarrassed. I get embarrassed in the gym because I'm crying. And I'm sure they're like, why is she crying when she's in here working out? It's because spiritually it happens when I sing. You've seen it when I sing. When we were in the studio, it happened. Those things are in our body and they come out. And I'm not trying to be extra woo-woo, but that just happens to me. I'm tapped in. And so when I start moving my body and exerting, that's how God deals with me, and that's how I process it. Now, the lesson in that is, am I going to be worried about what somebody else thinks of me? Or am I going to get in this gym and do what I know I can do? It doesn't matter who's watching. This is the most humble I have ever been in my life. And I'm not saying that to like pump myself up. This is humiliating. And so that's why I changed my hair. It started falling out, so I cut it. And when it's not looking full enough, I put a wig on it. And I used to not be able to say that. I used to not be okay with that. And so now it's like there's so many people who can relate to, if she can do it, I can do it. There are people who I look at and I say to myself, oh, if she can do it, I can do it. But I want people to say, if Mercedes can do it, then surely I can do it. And, I've always been the underdog, last to be picked. I've always been the person who was told, oh, you can't sing, or you're too big, or you'd be an amazing wife, you're just too much, or you're somebody's wife, but you're not mine. Things like that. I'm enough. Right now, how I am. Because let me tell you something. After that Soul Cafe Awards, honey, married men and single men, all in my inbox. Fupa and all. Chubby and all. Extra jolly and all. It was almost worse than it usually is. I know that I'm beautiful because my heart is beautiful. And my heart is pure. And what I look like has nothing to do with the contents of who I am as a human being and in my heart. And so I'm gonna work with what I got until I can get better. That's what I know how to do, and that's what I'm going to do. And I don't want to say I'm gonna. Because this year was about me showing results and saying, by the way, here's what I've done.